Welcome again to the Medical Terminology Podcast. This episode is Chapter 14, Part 1, Male Word Parts and Anatomy. With only 2 chapters to go, we are almost finished with the class. I know that many of you are tired at this point and more than ready for it to be over. I also know that some of you are behind and under pressure to get chapters 14 and 15 done in a week or less. Most students think Chapter 14 is fairly easy. It's about sex, sex. And we all know about sex, right? Because a lot of the chapter may be common knowledge, and because you are working under pressure, I think a lot of students tend to look past this chapter and miss items on tests. While a lot of the material in the chapter may be common knowledge, there is also quite a bit of material that isn't. So I'm going to try to slow you down a bit and focus in on those items that tend to be difficult or otherwise missed on tests. We're going to begin with the male word parts and anatomy. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the word parts and anatomy relating to the male reproductive system. As far as the word parts go, most of them are pretty obvious, but we have a couple that are tricky. The first one relates to the glans penis, which is the tip of the penis right here. And the word part for the glans penis is balano, B-A-L-A-N/O. And then we have an odd word part that's relating to the testes, or the testicle. And we actually have 3 flavors of this word part. The first one is orcho, O-R-C-H/O. Then we have orchio, O-R-C-H-I/O. And finally, orchido, O-R-C-H-I-D/O. And again, you're going to have to memorize which terms favor which combining form when you come to them. And on top of that, we also have another combining form that is more obvious, and that's testo, T-E-S-T/O. And again, you're going to have to memorize which terms favor that one. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at those aspects of the anatomy that most people tend to look past and miss on tests. These are the parts that are a little more technical and that most people just don't have as part of their common knowledge. The first one is Epididymis, E-P-I-D-I-D-Y-M-I-S. The epididymis is this coiled structure on the upper part of each testicle. It's a place where sperm is stored prior to its being released. The next term is vas deferens, V-A-S-D-E-F-E-R-E-N-S. The vas deferens is this tube that goes up from each testicle. It passes through and around the bladder, and finally it joins the urethra, which is right here. Another term which we don't really see illustrated in this drawing is the spermatic cord, S-P-E-R-M-A-T-I-C, and then cord. The spermatic cord includes the vas deferens, which is illustrated, as well as arteries, veins, nerves, and lymphatic vessels that feed each testicle. And then we have 3 mysterious glands that are part of the male reproductive tract. And again, these are easily confused. They tend to get missed on tests, both in terms of the drawing and also in terms of what they do. The first one is the prostate gland, which most of you have heard of. In fact, It was primarily covered back in the chapter 9 on urology. But here is the prostate. And the prostate secretes a thick alkaline fluid that aids sperm motility. And motility is a term that refers to the ability to move. This is what helps energize the sperm and make them into better swimmers, basically. So the prostate gland, remember, motility. Its secretions help sperm motility. The next term is the seminal vesicle. S-E-M-I-N-A-L, vesicle, V-E-S-I-C-L-E. And the seminal vesicle is right here. And in fact, it's kind of attached to the back of the prostate, and there's actually two of them side by side. The seminal vesicles are located at the base of the bladder here, and again, as I said, they're attached to the prostate, and they open into the vase right where it joins the urethra. Notice here is the vase coming in, there's the urethra right there, and the seminal vesicle is right in the middle. The seminal vesicles secrete thick yellowish substance that nourishes sperm, and it composes 60% of the semen volume. Okay, so the seminal vesicle nourishes sperm, the prostate gland helps the sperm's motility. Finally, we have the Bobo urethral gland, also referred to as the Cowper's gland, and it is this little gland right here. The Bobo urethral glands secrete what's called pre-ejaculate. It is a fluid that enters the urethra and flushes it out, neutralizing the urine, and it also increases lubrication in the urethra, which makes it easier for the semen to flow. And finally, we have the ejaculatory duct. E-J-A-C-U-L-A-T-O-R-Y duct. And the ejaculatory duct is right here where the vase comes in. The vase is coming in here. The seminal vesicle comes in here. The duct actually is where the vase kind of expands and goes through the prostate, and then it joins the urethra right here. So this area is the duct, ejaculatory duct. And it is where, again, the sperm and the semen can enter into the urethra. Okay, now we're going to do some practice. What male reproductive gland produces a thick yellowish substance that nourishes the sperm? Nourishes sperm, that's going to be the seminal vesicle, which is right here. Seminal vesicle. What is the term for the coiled tube in the upper part of each testicle? That's the epididymis. E-P-I-D-I-D-Y-M-I-S. And again, that is right here. Which gland secretes a fluid that aids sperm motility? That is the prostate gland. Prostate, and gland. And again, that is right here. Where does the seminal fluid merge with the urethra? Well, that is the ejaculatory duct. EJACULATORY and duct. And again, that is this region right in here. Which gland secretes pre-ejaculate that flushes urine from the urethra? Well, that's the bulbourethral gland. BULBOURETHRAL gland, also known as the Cowper's gland. And that is right there. What is the term for the tube that carries sperm from each testicle to the urethra? Well, that is the vas deferens. VAS and then DEFERENS. And that is this tube right here. Which structure includes the vas deferens, arteries, veins, nerves, and lymphatic vessels that feed each testicle? Well, that is not actually illustrated on this drawing, but that is the spermatic cord. SPERMATIC, and then cord. And what word part refers to the gland's penis? Well, that's Balano, BALAN/O, and the glans is right here. And name a word part that refers to the testicle. Well, the testicle again is right here. And you could have said testo, TEST/O, or you could have said one of the three odd ones, orcho, ORCH/O, orchio, ORCHI/O, or orchido, ORCHID/O. Okay, that covers the trickier aspects of anatomy. Again, I hope that you can identify the remaining elements of the anatomy. They should be pretty straightforward. This ends this episode of the Medical Terminology Podcast.